Mbongeni, once again, a very good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Elvis. As I was saying, the meeting is underway. We understand that the first order of business is actually to brief the president. This is his first meeting under this process, having taken over after the former Deputy President Kaiba Motlanthe left government. When the new government came into office, I spoke to the Minister of Mineral Resources, Ngwagora Matlodi, as he was arriving for the meeting, having just had a bilateral or a private meeting with the President, briefing him about this meeting. And he made the point that the fact that the President has actually taken over this process himself, it shows the seriousness with which he regards the mining industry and the need to ensure that there is lasting peace in the industry and that there is sustainability as well. So they are going to brief the president on what has been done thus far. The framework agreement was signed in July 2013. Since then, there's been a lot of work that has been done. There's been task teams that have been set up comprising of mining companies, unions, the government. There's been community policing forums that have been established in the mining areas to actually make sure that they get rid of issues of provocation, violence, intimidation, and so on. So Minister Matlodi is saying that progress is being made there, but there could still be better participation by all the stakeholders in those structures. Of course, there were other issues that we identified, especially following what happened in Marikana in 2012, as having been the causing factors towards the instability in the mines, issues around housing. The majority of the miners still live in squatter camps, in squalid conditions and so on. Issues of high levels of indebtedness among the miners themselves. The Mashonisas are very active in the mining areas. And there have been all those kind of issues. Also, just to put this meeting in context, Elvis, as you know, we may be heading for a strike in the gold mining industry and possibly even the coal mining industry. The General Secretary of Solidarity, when I spoke to him earlier on, and when he was arriving for this meeting as well, he made the point that the test of all the work that has been done thus far and what is being done right now in terms of this process will actually be if those strikes go ahead, if we see that those strikes are not characterized by violence and intimidation, as it happened with the AMCU strike in the Platinum Belt last year. He said that's going to be the big test of what is being done right now. So that also shows why this meeting is so important and why the president is actually regarding this work very seriously. Elvis.
What are some of the expectations from the mining houses as well as from the unions in this particular meeting? Because it is a high-level meeting, isn't it?
It's actually a very high-level meeting. Like I said, today the main thing is actually to brief the president, to bring him up to speed about where or how far the stakeholders have come with regards to this process and then what needs to be done going forward. One of the things I need to mention also that is very crucial here is that when this agreement, this Stability Framework Agreement was signed in July 2013, AMCU had participated in the negotiations and in the meetings, but when the agreement was signed, AMCU did not sign the agreement. They said they still needed to consult their members. It's 1.5 years. It's 1 year and a half on. AMCU has still not signed the agreement, but crucially, AMCU is here today. The president of AMCU, Joseph Machunjwa, has actually arrived and he's here. So it remains to be seen if AMCU is actually finally going to come on board and actually put pen to paper and commit themselves to this process and its outcomes and what is expected of all the stakeholders. Speaking to a delegation from the Chamber of Mines earlier on, a member of the delegation, he said he doesn't expect or he doesn't think that AMCU is going to sign today. That's one of the key things that we're going to be watching out if indeed it happens. Of course, government has been urging AMCU to come on board and sign. Just like everyone else, and proceed with everyone else in terms of achieving these very important goals. Of course, also as we speak, the top issue right now in the mining industry is the whole issue of job losses. An agreement was signed last week by the stakeholders dealing specifically with the issue of retrenchments to say that since we're seeing a massive wave of retrenchments, what can be done to avoid those retrenchments? What are the alternatives? AMCU did participate in that task team, and they did sign that agreement last week. So will they now finally sign the framework agreement as well? So that's what we're waiting to see. The mining industry, of course, is going through a very tough time at the moment, given the commodity slump worldwide. Demand from China has fallen and so on. So that too feeds into this thing because it's about the sustainability of the mining industry, what is happening on that front as well. So there's a lot of issues that are pressing, that are being discussed, that needs to be discussed by all the stakeholders. Hence, also we're seeing the president stepping in and getting involved himself. The issues are very, very serious, Elvis.
And let's hope that they can remove that big elephant in the room, AMCU. Thank you so much for that report, Mbongeni Muthwa, our reporter live from Pretoria at the Sefako Makato House.